Hey guys, how's everyone doing today? So my name is David Schenecker. I'm the spouse of the commander for the 5th TC, or the 5th Transportation Company, or the CWC unit that's here in Camp Zama, Japan. Today I wanted to kind of just walk everybody through the website. So I hope this introduction is going to be useful to everyone. You guys can kind of see what the website has to offer for you. We've designed this website, my wife and I, as well as some of the team here at Camp Zama, to help all you guys who are just coming into Japan kind of integrate well. We've been here since 2021, 22, just about 2 years. We've seen a lot of change in Camp Zama specifically. So a lot of the stuff we've learned from end of COVID into this new phase, a lot of this website will cover some of that information. Um, as always, we are not subject matter experts on everything. We are going to do our best to tie you guys to the resources for the experts on all these fields. But for most of the questions, about 85% of the questions, we can answer those for you. So feel free to use that contact page. Submit the information, submit an email. It'll go directly to me, and I'll be able to help facilitate that response back. As the commander is getting this entire unit set up, it falls to me to help kind of facilitate some of the questions. So feel free to reach out. Super happy to meet and connect with everybody, as well as introduce you guys to the family here in Japan. But let's kind of get into it. So as you guys can kind of see at the top right now, these are all the tabs that we have as options, right? So these are the big guys, right? So we have the home, the leadership itself, the mission statement, sponsorship 101, the onboarding checklist itself. Community resources has a couple stuff under there that you want to take note of. If you have children, you really want to pay attention to this K through 12 schools. You guys will be integrating with the Dodea school system, and there's some hardy steps for that. So if you have kids that are coming to Japan with you who are school age, you really want to pay attention to this tab here. For social media community groups, this is all the different groups that we'll talk about that, but that's the Facebook community. Housing resources, this holds everything you need for housing resources. So this is going to be one of the most important tabs. This one's also going to be updated quite often. There's a lot of regulations for housing, a lot of things that we can do with that. We're working on getting layouts for the different housing for the townhomes and the towers. So paying real close attention to that one, and that one will be updated in the coming weeks. If you have pets, again, it's subdivided in its own category. Lots of information here as well. Health resources, and then contact page right here. I am asking that everyone just create an account. That way, the stuff that is PII involved, heavy files, you guys have access to the files that are already inside of here. We're going to kind of use this file sharing. But in order to keep that stuff under lock and key, I do ask that you guys create an account in order to kind of get that together. All right. But let's dive in. So on the home page, you just scroll right down. How do you get started right? Everything we do when you transition to a new unit, it's just important to understand how you get started right, or what I like to call GSR. So you really want to make sure you pay attention to that. When you click this Start Now button, it's going to get you already sent to our page for our onboarding journey timeline. All right. I encourage you to download this guy here and go through the checklist. All right. It's also right here under onboarding checklist. As we go through, this is also going to give you the actual standards book. That's the most recent one there. And as well as a sponsorship information incoming personnel file as well. Same thing, very current. This is where you're going to also find the important files. If you've created an account, boom, you're going to have access to every file that we've thrown up in here, and you can download that information there. All right, you can favorite it, view it, download it, use it, do whatever you got to do, make new folders, all kinds of crazy stuff. You guys have access to that if you create your account. Under the home page, obviously these are all different sections that we have. You guys can kind of go through all that information, featured items, all that good stuff. And then the military installation booklet for Camp Zama. You want to read that through. It is a pretty hefty 184-page document. My encouragement, download it and read what's important to you. All right, let's go back to the top. This is my better half. This is Captain Miyata Schenecker. She's going to be your guys' commander. And what we'll do with this page is, as we get more leaders in here, same thing with like first sergeants and all that stuff, we'll put these guys here as well to kind of give a more well-rounded example of what the leadership's going to be. This is the current mission statement. All right, sponsors or sponsorship 101. Now, I put this on here to help with the sponsors. Again, right now there's a team of 5 handling about 85 people coming in. That's a lot for 5 people. However, I gave you guys a bunch of resources to understand how this works, all right? We are operating off of Total Army Sponsorship, or TASP. You guys have probably already heard that before. If you don't, boom, you can hit that button right there, learn more details. I found this app to hopefully make it more useful for you guys. This guy is the Army PCS app. You have options for iOS or Android. Feel free to use that guy. It's pretty neat. Don't believe all the reviews. It's not. I would say it's good for what it is. TradeDoc put it out, so it's decent. So I've already played around with it a little bit. So there's some cool stuff in there that you might want to use as a cool digital binder if you're not into making a PCS binder. There's now all these PDFs. So I'm on the desktop version of this. If you do this on the phone, it might be a little bit more difficult. I apologize. I'm working on the mobile side of everything. The mobile web app is a little bit more work in progress. It's a lot harder to do than the desktop one. If you are doing this on the desktop one, this is pretty easy. You can download it, print it. Same thing on the iPad. It's a lot easier on the iPad because that was the easiest first one that I edited the website under. So feel free to use that. All right, and then you have a PCS guide and moving checklist right here as well. The Sponsorship 101 is designed to give you guys the most amount of resources that you can use on your own in order to help kind of make the PCS process easier. All right. I'm going to slide over to the onboarding checklist. There's a couple do-outs that are super important to draw your attention to because of how crazy Japan can get with paperwork. If you have EFMP needs, please get that done, get that in, get that submitted. This guy takes forever to get in, and it's just a very slow bureaucratic process. If you have EFMP, you probably are already aware of that. If this is not your first Oconus location, you're probably already aware of that. But please make sure you get that EFMP in. It just really keeps the process simple. Now for this guy right here, I know the formatting is a little funky. I encourage everyone to download this guy and hit that download button. It'll shoot you over to the correctly formatted one that I encourage everybody to use. All right. If you get a little confused, M means month, the day is day, all that good stuff. Right. So you have journey where you're at. Most of you are going to be pre-onboarding at this point. If you're already about 6 months out or anywhere, I would say more, 6 months or more, up to 6 months or more, you're probably pre-onboarding at this point. All right. So that's kind of where your journey is starting. The moments that you should kind of be paying attention to this journey are right here, 6 months out. The trigger for these, what I like to call what are the triggering things, what should you be doing, what should be your thought? You should be connecting with the unit, right? You really should be figuring out who's the commander, right? If you don't know that, getting on the Facebook page, getting on the website, getting on here, right? You want to get that welcome message. This is kind of where the first thing begins, obviously. And then what you're going to find with this checklist is who's responsible for what. This is really, really important. Not everything goes to the commander. Not everything goes to the sponsor. Not everything goes to the employee. Some of these items on here are for maybe the SFRG leader for all intents and purposes. That's me for right now. All right. The sponsor, there's only 5, right? So you do want to pay attention to who's responsible for what. That'll make this a lot easier for you. As you download it, you can obviously make this a checklist on your own. Now, some of these things I have not edited. I've made pretty much everything in here right now has been edited for high impact only. When I first did this checklist, there was 182 items. It's now only 62. It's a lot better than it was when I first got it. All right. As you're doing the plan your journey part right here, this quarter, when this is, you guys kind of play around with this on your own. This quarter, next quarter, right? Use this as a tool for yourself. I didn't put anything on here. I just put TBC for everything. You guys can kind of figure out what that's going to be for you guys. All right. I left that for everyone to kind of do on their own. But that's the checklist. This guy can be printed. It can be used. And this is kind of how everything here is. The communications in place has been personalized by segment, is aligned with our values, and is distribution automated, right? There's a lot of different things on here that are super important that we need to do. And have we done them? That's kind of what we're looking at with that. All right. So that is the journey mapping worksheet. I'm not going to go through the big documents. You guys can go through those. All right, let's get into community resources. When you click on community resources by itself, it's going to give you its own page as well. So don't get confused. It's not just these tabs. It's also this tab here. There's a lot of information here. This is the actual Camp Zama Facebook directory. Literally gives you a whole bunch of stuff by ACS. How to get a vehicle. What are the important documents? What do you need? How do you do your SOFA license? Hey, you're going to have a Japanese license here too. Really want to pay attention to that. What does driving and driving safety look like? If you have a motorcycle, what does that look like? Ton of information here. All right. So please make sure we're paying attention to those items. Facebook community groups. I kind of gave you guys a way to connect with it. what's the name of the group, and then a little blurb about the group. You guys can kind of go through those groups right there, connect with them. If you're looking for cars, my best advice, go to the classifieds or the resale. You're going to find better opportunities to buy vehicles. Feel free to buy a new vehicle if you get here. Like I said, it's up to you how you want to do that. But there's better resources if you just kind of reach out to who's in those community groups. All right, now I currently work for Dodea, so this is a little bit is great for our group and our unit because I already work for Dodea. So I'm what's called an office automation assistant. I assist the registrar, so I do all of the registrations for Yokota Elementary School, Mendel Elementary School on Yokota. So I work at the Air Force Base. However, Dodea is the same. It literally acts and does everything the same. So if you have kids who are in the middle school, high school, elementary school, literally the process is the same. However, there's a lot of red tape when you're trying to deal with how to get them registered, all that kind of stuff. A lot of documents that you need. Please use me as a resource to how you get your kids registered for school. More than happy to help you all with that because there is a lot of stuff you need, and there's ways to make the process a lot easier later on down the road. I left over here all the different ones you have, and I gave you guys the current school calendars as well. Most of you who are coming are going to be coming in the middle or just after the beginning of the school year, so you're going to want to know the calendars. You're going to want to know kind of what to do because you'll be registering after the start of school. So please make sure you're paying attention to that if you have school-aged kids. Expenses are super important. We do operate using the yen very, very often here in Japan. So you're going to want to know how to be financially prepared when you're here. So please read through that document as well. Now everyone's favorite thing, housing and ETP. All right, ETP, exceptions to policy. Please make sure that you guys are submitting your ETP documents on time and in enough time. Please don't wait till the last minute. Please don't wait till 45 days out. Please get them in. The command team needs time to really vet through those systems and vet your ETP to make sure it's appropriate. So please make sure that happens. All right. These are all the information for everything pertaining to housing. Everything that you need. Command policies. How do you do pets? What do you do what's the Army policy for pets? What are the liability? How do you do the understanding? All of this stuff. How do you even submit your application? I literally dropped you the application fillable for housing. Please make sure you're filling out this information. Under this application, put your needs. Really put your needs on here. A lot of people like, oh, well, I don't really need it. You need to be as detailed as possible. If you want to get a townhome or get something that's not the towers, or if you have a pet. If you have a pet and you're on the 3rd+ floor of the towers, you can't have a pet. So you need to make sure that you 100% have all this information filled out and detailed. Don't skim it and don't make it like short. Please make sure you put some work into it. All right. Health resources. I'll be honest, this is not my strong suit. I don't know too much about the health resources. I'm a pretty healthy individual, so only thing I really use often is the dental that's here on post. As everyone knows, TRICARE is who we use. I believe we're going to use TRICARE Pacific here. I think I've called them one time since I've been here. But if you have stuff, I drop you all of the information, contact information, hours, who to contact for pretty much everything that you possibly need. I tried doing that because I don't know. I don't know that information, right? If you have kids in sports, I also dropped you the sports participation stuff. Again, if you have kids, that's important. All right, contact page. This gets you to me. Please use this page right here. Email me as much as you can. Send me questions. See if there's stuff in there that you need. All that good stuff. When you create an account, I haven't really done too much with setting up the account page, but this is the account information. It's pretty basic. It's pretty bland. I'm probably not going to use this as often as other pages, but it's there for if I decide to use it. But I hope, just a brief overview of the website. I hope this helps, gives you some direction. I don't really like doing a whole lot of writing if I don't have to. Table of contents can get difficult. So I hope this gives you a little bit more information and prepares you guys for the awesomeness that is Japan. Cannot wait to connect with you guys.